Hi, welcome to Baxter Springs, Kansas. I'm Mary Billington, and I'm here to introduce you to one of the longest murals on Route 66. And this mural showcases a history of Baxter Springs, and we're going to start off with our Native American story. The Native American story starts with the Osage Nation. They were the first Native Americans in this area. They were relocated to their first reservation area in 1825. And then later into the Oklahoma Territory in 1870. Their chief Black Dog is known for creating a large trail that spun out of Baxter Springs off towards Caney, Kansas, and then onto the Salt Flats of Oklahoma. Next, we're going to move into our cowtown era. Baxter Springs, Kansas, we were the first cowtown. This was created by the Texas drovers utilizing the military road out of Texas into Baxter Springs, Kansas, and then further north to Kansas City. This later became known as the Eastern Shawnee Cattle Trail. And along with all of these Texas drovers, there came a huge rowdiness to town. We became a boom town. Boom towns need marshals. In our history, we have got two marshals that were shot and killed. One during an altercation at the Wiggins house located at 9th and Military between a prostitute, a cattle drover, and the marshal. The marshal was unfortunately killed. Mr. Wiggins of the Wiggins house got a slight wounding. The lady of ill repute, our local prostitute, she got a slap on the wrist, and the Texas drover ran out of town. There was some history there. He did come back, settle the things up, so it was all right. With the cattle industry, we have trains coming to town, which gathered the cattle up, took them to markets in Kansas City. Baxter Springs has a long history with travels and transportation, and one of those transportation routes was Route 66, which is very well established in Kansas. The town is Baxter Springs. It gets its name from a local springs that the Osage held sacred. They considered it a healing water. That Springs is long gone, but we still carry that history with us. Baxter Springs was established in 1868, 2 years after the cessation of the Civil War. And it became that huge boomtown in that 2-year gap, and it really brought a lot of industry to town. So with the early boomtown, we have the Niles House, who built this wonderful example of early 1870 Italianate architecture. It's very well known over on our 12th Street with the cupola. It's recently been reestablished. It is on the National Register of Historic Places as well as the Kansas Register of Historic Places. We're very fortunate to have many locations in the Cherokee County area with that. We have got the Depression era, Bonnie and Clyde. Many outlaws came to Baxter Springs. At that point in time, the state systems were that police and law enforcement could not pursue someone outside of their state lines. Well, guess what? Kansas has 13.2 miles that links Missouri to Oklahoma. So it's very easily done for these bank robbers and Bonnie and Clyde especially to go from Missouri to Oklahoma and evade law enforcement. So they were very notorious for this area. We've got our Marsh Arch Bridge, another very iconic moment on Route 66. The Marsh Arch Bridge was built in 1923, 3 years before Route 66 became established. And it is the last Marsh Arch Bridge on Route 66 in its entirety. So it is also on the National Register, been there since the 80s. It sees thousands upon thousands of visitors each year. This year it's getting a brand new paint job, so come on out and get your picture on it. Most people do not know that Mickey Mantle has a Baxter Springs, Kansas history. A lot of people know that he grew up in Oklahoma and nearby Commerce, Oklahoma. His nickname was the Commerce Comet, or the Mick, and he played his entirety with the New York Yankees. They don't know how he got there. He got there by playing on a local team called the Baxter Springs Whiz Kids. This team played at Kiwanis Park, which is on the east edge of town, right against the Spring River. He was scouted by the Yankees there, and he signed with them in that park. So the park is historic for that reason alone, if you ask me. What a lot of people don't know about Mick is how closely he considered his friendship with those members of that ball team. While he was with the Yankees, he made arrangements for uniforms that the Yankees were turning out to come back to Baxter for these guys, these miners, these people who didn't have the wherewithal to buy all that. So we've got people in the area who have hand-me-down Yankee uniforms that were used by the Baxter Springs Whiz Kids. He loved his teammates and he was here a lot. This is a little nod to all of the many trails that came before our modern transportation system. We've got the Shawnee Trail as part of our Cowtown era, the Black Dog Trail, a nod to Chief Black Dog and the Osage and their trading route out to the Great Salt Plains, and the Military Road. The Military Road was created after Missouri became a state in 1821 as a supply route from Fort Leavenworth in northern Kansas to Fort Gibson in mid-central Oklahoma. It was a supply route, and it was helped to supply the soldiers there that were controlling the Native Americans in that area. Now we have established roadways that incorporated this history. We have the Ozark Trail, we have the Jefferson Highway, and of course our Route 66. This area could not be this area without the history of the lead and zinc mining. We've got lead and zinc mining in the Joplin, Oronogo, Webb City area. The Galena area was the first lead and zinc mining in this part of the area. And then you get over to Pitcher, Oklahoma, which was the epicenter of the Tri-State Mining District. The Tri-State Mining District, Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma, is part of the largest EPA Superfund site cleanup in the nation because of the sheer amount of volume of lead and zinc that was mined in this area. The majority of all lead and zinc needed during World War I and World War II was provided by the Tri-State Mining District, with the majority of that coming from the Pitcher Field. This is one of my favorite parts of the mural. This is a nod to our Civil War history. Our Civil War history is very unique in the fact that not only did we have the first Kansas Colored Volunteers stationed here, but we also had the second Kansas Colored Volunteers stationed here. Our first Kansas Colored Volunteers are known in history as being the first troops in the Union Army, Black troops, to see fighting and do service. Our second Kansas, they showed themselves very worthy of that same sort of historic moment when in October of 1863, William Clark Quantrell attacked our fort site here, and the second Kansas, along with members of the 3rd Wisconsin Cavalry, held the fort against 300 men. It was very iconic. Our Black soldiers during that era, they were numbered off, but after the Civil War, they merged many of our Black units, and these men later became known as the Buffalo Soldiers. Thank you for joining me on my quick tour of our longest mural in Kansas. We have got all of these good people, our Baxter Springs Chamber of Commerce that really led the charge to get this mural in town. Our All Roads Tourism Committee, that's part of the Chamber of Commerce. Those members are epically doing things for tourism, for good, for Baxter. So come by and see us.